I was planning to propose next month, but instead, I caught my girlfriend in another guy's arms. If you love emotional true stories that hit deep, please take a second to subscribe and turn on the bell. It really helps the channel grow. My name's Tom. I'm 26, and for the past 4 years, I thought I had the perfect relationship with Emily. She was the kind of girl everyone liked, funny, warm, and the person who could light up a room just by smiling. We met in college, and after graduation, we moved in together. Life wasn't perfect, but it felt right. I work as a technician at a car workshop. The pay isn't amazing, but I've been doing extra shifts and picking up side jobs to save for something special, an engagement ring. Emily didn't know. I wanted it to be a surprise. I used to imagine her face when I'd kneel down and ask her to marry me. I thought about it every night. But over the past 2 months, something changed. Emily started acting distant. She'd come home late, say she was tired, and go straight to bed. She didn't laugh as much, didn't ask about my day, and always seemed glued to her phone. When I asked what was wrong, she'd say, "It's just work, Tom. Stop overthinking." At first, I believed her. She worked at a marketing firm, and her job could get stressful. But then she started dressing up more for work, wearing perfume she hadn't used in months. She started guarding her phone like it was a bomb about to go off. Still, I didn't want to accuse her of anything. I trusted her. I thought maybe I was just paranoid from working too hard. So I kept quiet and focused on saving money for the ring. Every Friday, I'd put a few bills into an old metal box I kept under my bed. It wasn't much, but it was everything I had. Each time I opened that box, I'd picture our future, a small wedding, maybe a little house someday. I even started practicing what I'd say during the proposal. But something deep down didn't feel right. The way she smiled when she texted, the way she suddenly started spending weekends with friends, it all felt different. Still, I pushed the thoughts away. I told myself she loved me, and I just needed to trust her. I didn't know that while I was saving for a ring, she was already giving her heart to someone else. It happened on a Friday afternoon. Emily told me she had to work late because of a big client meeting. I believed her, but that morning, one of my coworkers asked if I wanted to leave early since we'd finished a major job ahead of time. I thought it'd be a nice surprise to pick Emily up from work and grab dinner together. She loved little surprises like that, or at least, she used to. Her office was about 30 minutes from the workshop. I stopped by a flower shop and bought her favorite, white lilies. I remember feeling excited the whole way there. I even played our song in the car. When I pulled up to her office building, people were already leaving for the weekend. I waited by my car, flowers in hand, scanning the crowd for her face. And then I saw her walking out of the building, smiling in a way I hadn't seen in months. But she wasn't alone. She was walking beside a guy, tall, clean-cut, wearing a gray suit. He was carrying her bag, and they were laughing. At first, I thought maybe he was a coworker. I wanted to believe that. But then I saw her touch his arm, not like a friend would, but softly, like someone who cared. Then he leaned in and kissed her on the cheek. She didn't pull away. My heart just stopped. I froze where I stood. My hands went numb, and the flowers slipped from my grip, landing on the pavement. I wanted to walk up to them, scream, ask why, but I couldn't move. I just watched as they got into his car and drove away. I stood there for a long time, staring at the street. People passed by, but it felt like I was invisible. Everything I'd been saving for, dreaming about, gone in a second. When I finally got home, I sat in silence. I told myself maybe I misunderstood. Maybe there was a reason. But deep down I knew. That night, when she got home, I waited until she was in the shower. I opened her phone, I knew her passcode. I hated myself for doing it, but I needed to know. And there it was, messages from Jake. Flirty texts. Plans to meet. Pictures of them together. Jokes about how I never notice anything. My stomach turned. My heart sank. The girl I was saving to marry had already chosen someone else. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat there, staring at the wall, hearing her voice in the shower like nothing had happened. Every time I blinked, I saw her with him, laughing, holding his hand, smiling like she used to with me. When she came out, she looked at me and said, Hey, you're up late. I didn't answer. I just looked at her. She noticed something was off. What's wrong? She asked. I took a deep breath and said, Who's Jake? Her whole face changed. Her eyes widened for a second, then she tried to play dumb. Jake? Who? She said, forcing a laugh. I pulled out her phone from the table and handed it to her. Don't lie, Emily. I saw everything. She froze. For a few seconds, she didn't say a word. Then she sat down and covered her face with her hands. Tom. I didn't mean for you to find out like this, she whispered. That line broke me. She didn't mean for me to find out, not that she didn't mean to do it. I asked her how long it had been going on. She said a few months. She said she wasn't happy and that Jake understood her better. I just stared at her. The same person I thought I'd spend my life with was sitting there telling me she'd fallen for someone else. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just sat in silence. I think that scared her more than shouting would have. She tried to grab my hand, but I pulled away. She started crying, saying, Tom, I still care about you. I just got confused. Confused. That word burned through me. I'd been working double shifts, saving money for a ring, planning a future, and she was confused. I stood up, went into the bedroom, and started packing my things. She followed me, begging me to talk, saying we could fix it. But there was nothing left to fix. When I zipped my bag, she whispered, So that's it? You're just leaving. I looked at her one last time and said, You already left. I just didn't see it until now. Then I walked out. No shouting, no goodbye, just quiet steps out of a home that didn't feel like mine anymore. I moved back into my old apartment that night. It was small, barely furnished, but at least it was quiet. I sat on the floor, surrounded by half-unpacked bags, and felt empty. For years of love, gone in a single evening. The next few days were rough. I couldn't eat, couldn't focus at work. My coworkers noticed, but I didn't tell anyone the full story. I just said things didn't work out. How could I explain that while I was saving for a ring, she was giving herself to someone else? Emily texted me the next day. First, it was short messages, can we talk? I'm sorry. Then longer ones. She said she didn't plan for it to happen, that Jake made her feel seen, but now she realized it was all a mistake. She wanted to meet and talk things through. I didn't reply. She called a few times, left voicemails crying, saying Jake wasn't who she thought he was. Apparently, he ghosted her after everything came out. I guess she thought she could come back to me once she realized the grass wasn't greener. But I couldn't do it. The trust was gone. The image I had of us, was gone. Instead of checking my phone, I started spending more time with my brother and a couple of friends. They helped me get through the worst of it. Some nights I'd still think about how close I was to proposing, how I'd planned the whole thing in my head, and it hurt all over again. A few weeks later, I went back to the workshop, opened my locker, and saw the small metal box I used to keep the money for the ring. I'd brought it there once for safekeeping. I opened it, looked at the folded bills, and laughed, not because it was funny, but because it felt so pointless now. But then I realized something. Maybe that money could still go towards something meaningful, not a ring, but a new start. I used it to take a short trip out of town, clear my head, and remind myself there's more to life than heartbreak. I haven't spoken to Emily since. I deleted her number, her pictures, everything. Sometimes, I still think about how close I came to building a life with her. I was saving for a ring. Turns out, I was the only one saving anything. Your support means everything. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. More powerful stories coming soon.